pairing. If you missed our first series, one of the deciding fights of that one from Jiejie was an awesome missing full rail combo into a bullet time, and there is no crescent guard in this series to deny it, so that is going to be on the table. And I gotta be honest, dog, I know we're a little bit worried about picking that into like the Azir and now like a Jarvan potentially, but knowing Erha and how he's been performing in the series across the board, I'm confident that he could deliver with one of those rail moments.
Yeah, I mean, you also have the Rune Prison to be able to provide some damage here, so Weibo are going to be in an interesting spot where Ryze, despite the fact that he is not going to be as strong before 2 items, is actually going to provide a ton of utility for Erha and for Light in this bottom lane. So, going to be interesting to see. It seems like IG are going for a bit of a different composition where Jarvan is going to just jump straight into the back line, hold down some of the members of Weibo while this Renekton goes in with him, and rookie's Azir is able to tear them apart at range. We'll see what is going to happen on the back end of this draft. I like the Recon Band just to take that away as a connector with the J4. And in terms of AD carries, Jhin and Varus usually is popular answers going into Misfortune. And Ezreal's already taken away.
Yeah.
So
do you want to put Gala?
Not very many left up.
Yeah, the question is like stylistically, do you want to put? I think you're getting shoehorned and putting Gala on like a hyper carry by this point. Only thing I can think of outside of like maybe landing on a Jinx if it doesn't get banned through here, or like a Gala Zeri would be. Can you fit Lucian Nami, Lucian Melio into the back end of your draft?
That's what I was gonna say. I think Lucian Melio here. Damn it, Weibo! They knew it. They knew it. They saw it coming.
Got the script.
I'm still waiting for Lucian Melio here in LPL. So
we've got Lucian Nami a couple times.
Yeah, but Lucian Melio is just better. Lucian Nami is for old
But electrocute Lucian.
Yeah, you could still play electrocute Lucian with Melio. It's actually stronger because you get the burn damage from Melio's campfires.
Another short range IG comp though. This gets locked in.
Does give them, some skirmishing power, but
really
I just think it's really tough. You want to always, as this Corki, if you can, try to Valkyrie forward to get a little bit more damage, and I just think into a Realm Misfortune that's almost never going to happen. So IG playing
more
a little
Wombo.
bit closer to the chest.
More Wombo for Weibo. The Gnar signifies it, so you got, and then we do see that Poppy. I know I wasn't talking. We had some discussions with some of my other caster buddies about how Poppy is just like a game, a series closer. Like every time I see Poppy, even jungle or support, it's always coming in like game 3s for the LPL, and for what we've also been over in our region tapping into some of these CLOL games for us. So Poppy looking to be that decider for Tian, who picks up full utility in the jungle after the Pantheon game.
It just means that they have some early power here. I think with the Rel, or with having the Poppy and the Ryze, suddenly this 2v2 very early on becomes favored for Weibo. Jarvan and Azir are not going to have the same kind of explosive damage coming out from them. And when I look at this composition coming in for IG, it's very strong on 2 items, regardless of what Corki build we end up seeing. But need to kind of utilize some of the priority that you're going to have from your solo lanes. I want to see how Jiejie is going to be working around the map as this Jarvan. Typically, Jarvan will fall off, but when you look at what the enemy team has, just getting right into that back line, and I think preventing a lot of maybe what is Poppy getting in there, or even the Gnar, there is some options here for IG as this game goes forward.
What a call, though, from Weibo, knowing that IG piloted a Game 2 win through their superior team fighting, and Weibo come back out of the draft room and say, we're picking the Wombo comp to show IG what real team fighting looks like with the stakes raised. Ladies and gentlemen, we came into this matchup, this series, talking about how tied together these two teams are right now on the group standings. Both 5-4. Both 13-13 in game score. 2 mid laners known for their recent struggles in lane, but their superior team fighting. All of that has delivered, but something must break. Someone is coming out of this matchup 6-4 and in the 4th place playoff spot out of Group Ascend. And all of that will be decided now. Who wants it more, IG or Weibo, on Summoner's Rift one final time tonight?
This is your fault. This is your fault. You asked
I wanted
for
it.
5 games today.
I wanted this series to go 3. It needed to go 3 again. So I will not apologize.
The IG fans are so quiet today. What the hell? I was not expecting that. The IG is one of the biggest organizations historically, and you have a team with Rookie and TheShy, as well as Meiko. I feel like your fan section should be blaring loud, but I guess IG cannot match up against a literal social media team company, so makes sense.
Hopefully that's not a metaphor for how this series is going to go. Is that Xiaohu chasing down Rookie with a Rise level 1? I have seen it all. Meiko going to stun up to create some distance, gets a lot of value out of the resolve. Xiaohu gets another slow, trying to get as much value out of this Ghost as he possibly can. Crash down from Erha is going to connect as well, but does he have enough damage with Ignite to at least force Rookie to flash? No, he's not going to go for it, but this is terrible for Rookie's tempo.
Yeah, Rookie's probably just going to have to TP, and Meiko has to come to this lane, half HP. Gala's going to walk up. This is a fantastic start coming in from Weibo. No, they didn't get any kills, but now you get to start off, maybe even split this map vertically here, as Poppy is taking the blue buff. Might even try a cheese gank early on, potentially around the bottom side, but early vision will spot both of these junglers, as the red buff will get spotted for Jiejie, as well as Tian moving over to his Raptors will be seen here.
That was big for Xiaohu as well, because he makes an adaptation to the classic LPL Rise, and he's taking Ghost in this matchup. So he effectively nullifies the TP advantage Rookie has by making him go on that long goose chase to survive.
Shout out to Erha for this one. Just being a little cheeky with the crash down, recognizing that he can just get away with a lot here. So Poppy is going to end her red buff. And usually I would say that there is an angle for you to be going topside here. But I think with the fact that Jiejie has to go to his bottom side camps, maybe Tian actually just decides, like, we're going to flip early. I'm going to try and dive. I see this wave, though, and that kind of tells me, actually, I don't know if we're doing this anymore. He's moving, though. He's moving over.
At least to hover. Wave going to disperse here. Tian, though, I mean, he's going to have a serious camp lead if he wants it, but instead he's going to try and keep the aggression up here. Erha being annoying as ever on that Gromp. Tian's going to get a ward down, and well, he's going to, on the Poppy jungle, land himself a 3 buff.
If he wants it, though, he is staying for this bottom side. He's literally AFK standing there waiting for the scuttle to spawn. This is not jungle efficiency as at its finest. But
it's Poppy jungle.
Again, dude, it's Poppy jungle. Hey, wait a minute. Poppy jungle's fun.
It is, but it's not usually about jungle camp efficiency, no?
You can try to cheese gank, but Poppy becomes really annoying to play. They know he's here. They're like, okay, where is this guy?
Oh, breathe. Oh, breathe! Just like that!
What?
Maybe you should have let the Nidalee through. TheShy soloed out.
This is not an easy lane here for the
Jiejie. Oh, Jiejie.
Jiejie.
Beat the wall. You're about to get slammed into it. You're going to have to flash after. Tian follows. Does Xiaohu get the Q over the wall? He does. One more auto. Nearly does it.
Oh.
Xiao flashes the W. Saves Jiejie from his own demise.
Oh my god. I don't even know if there was Scorch there as well. The shielding from Jiejie saves his life, so trades 1 flash for 2. He loses his respawn Raptors, though, and that is a pretty big loss, all things considered. Unfortunate that Tian was not able to find the stun against the wall. He still has not taken his top side camps.
He double scuttled,
Poppy
too.
is going to reset and hopefully take them and get them to start leveling up.
He did double scuttle, though, so worth? Oh my god, he's pathing bot side.
He's pathing bot. Look.
Clear up.
There's no dive to be happening, so he's just going to path up. Maybe he's able to be there when they recall. It seems like Light and Erha are going to be forcing this wave underneath the turret just so they can go back to base and spend.
The most important question of this series now becomes how long will Tian's topside camp stay this low level? We might be going for a record. I mean, Jiejie's not going to do anything about it at all. He's got his own bot side camps to clear. He's going to clear his wolves out for the second time before Tian even touches his first wolves.
Oh boy. Hey, you know what though? If you're a jungler, you're probably looking at this like, I have had my own raptors and now 2 sets of respawn raptors before 8 minutes. That feels pretty good for golden experience. So Jiejie is going to be slightly down. He is this Jarvan, so in terms of clear speed, he is always going to be pretty gated. And that does mean that later on into the game, there might be a situation where it's actually more efficient and more worthwhile to IG to give up these camps over to their solo laners.
Everyone.
Just to make sure that, hey, if Rookie gets one, that's perfectly fine. We're going to see an early set of grubs go over to Weibo.
Yep. That's definitely not Tian taking his grubs before his blue buff. No. That's never happened. Oh, all right. So Riemann shuffle. Everyone's boogieing on top of Xiaohu. Erha, I don't think you can save him, my friend. That crash down was very hopeful, very optimistic, but he's so dead. This is 2 kills, swinging back over towards IG, and it's Rookie's Azir making the call.
This is the problem with the Ryze matchup, is that every time you don't have flash, that Azir is going to try and shuffle you in. Good job from IG to corral into mid lane and find themselves that kill. Don't think it means too much in the grand scheme of things, especially with both of those kills going over to Meiko. It's not exactly where you would have wanted that to happen. But as Invictus, you are okay for now with where the game state is. Rookie, I think, just being very, very understanding that, hey, my jungler's here, my support's in the area, let's just get a freebie. Let's get a free 300 gold.
Tian was like, guys, I gotta clear my Grom for the first time. I can't help. I'm sorry, I'll stop. But I just find it so funny.
Danny's like, oh god, he's like, whatever, man.
So we settle back in, and the game is on pretty even tilt. The 3 grubs, though, definitely gonna be a pretty big pain point for IG. Don't like the idea of giving up mites to a Ryze in our comp. Oh boy, dive in.
Oh.
Tian, bullet time, lined up so well with the keeper's verdict. 1 for 1 on bullet time wombos. That bodes well for Weibo.
All right, but look at what's happening on the opposite side of the map. How much more can Weibo get? Jiejie was able to grab the dragon and will now have the 3rd set of respawn raptors, as well as probably the entirety of Tian's bottom side jungle here. So he'll be able to at least slingshot himself back in. You can kind of see that they're already starting to pressure into mid lane.
Jiejie's revenge.
Xiaohu just now getting his flashback. He's like, I don't know if I'm allowed to stay here, actually.
Erha, how many times do I get my back canceled? Gets out for the 2nd time. Good on Jiejie to bring back some of this creep score difference and grab up that dragon. Interesting lane assignments coming across here for sure. It's going to be the Leona hovering the TheShy, and Gala gets a 1v1 with Breathe, who he is enjoying throwing down the entire Corki combo, and he hit every single skill. Wonder if Jiejie would have thought about a dive if Tian didn't show towards that bot side.
Maybe. We'll get spotted as well, so Jiejie feeling pretty good, though. Like, we talked about how it was very advantageous for Tian to actually get the double, like all those raptor camps back to back, but because he's been kind of neglecting some of his camps, and more specifically went for the topside dive as well, I mean, Jiejie is actually slightly ahead in experience. It's not by much, but the small advantages open up windows for the side of IG to continue to progress the game in their favor. See that Meiko right now trying to control this entrance into the raptor pit, but I mean, this has been a lot of time now that Light in particular has gotten a lot of free farm, right? With that dive top and Gala just being by himself bottom lane.
Should be able to pick up another plate here. He wants to be a bit careful, try and stay close range. The strut passive getting a lot of value. Meiko not level 6 either, so that will put Light currently 1,000 gold over his counterpart, and that is the entirety of the Weibo gold lead right now.
Pretty good. So
looks like he's rushing.
See if Light can carry. I know we've had some criticisms towards Light in the past. I know that Early on of this season, I was a big fan. So far, Light has been leaving a lot to be desired on the Rift. So,
okay. This is the big point we were talking about, though, Aug, the next set of grubs spawning. See, I'm going to jump on it. Teleport is coming through for Rookie. Gotta think the Weibo are good with just one and bouncing out because they get mites, and they will happily make that trade. Tian will happily make that trade. Please.
Are they going to try to go for this? I mean, Tian has Smite coming up. He can maybe try to contest this versus Jiejie.
Jiejie holding his smite. Rookie getting caught off to the side by Xiaohu. Commits the Emperor's Divide to protect himself. So that's one key ultimate out. And that means Xiaohu is running in to Realm Warp and separate IG. Everyone having to burn flashes to get over the wall. And Weibo able to steal an extra grub for themselves and some critical flashes that they'll definitely be revisiting.
Oh, for sure. And that ultimate from Rookie feeling a bit preemptive. Wanted to see if maybe Tian was going to be flashing over that wall. So getting both of those flashes from Jiejie and Meiko. Not the most important members, but if Weibo do decide to turn, it does mean that Meiko potentially is a little more susceptible to going down for the next few minutes.
Definitely can feel that the Game 3 vibe is in both of these teams. It's definitely a little anxious, a little antsy to make a lot of these plays around the map, and it's just slowed the game down, which is going to make it really fun, Aug, personally, because we are cruising towards a Voracious Octagon in Game 3, and you know that that buff take, no matter how it goes, is going to be a big decider in this one.
Could be. So
we're a ways away out, though.
Maybe the next 2 minutes is just fighting, just pure fighting the entire time.
There's nothing to really fight for, though, right now, no? As we get a look back at the...
Who cares? Fight for the sake of it, you know?
That's the IG way, right?
Yeah. So, good job from Xiaohu. I like how he was pressuring Rookie on the side here. And this just comes down to a clutch smite coming in from Tian. As, trying to look at the picture-in-picture right now as we get back to live. Breathe has done a pretty decent job for himself. He's up 40 CS in the top side. Jesus Christ, man.
Also gets a really big XP lead because remember, Meiko was hovering the Shy's lane when Breathe was able to shift down to match up with Gala. We were worried about TheShy in this Game 3, mainly for his champion pool, but he gets onto that Renekton, and Breathe, ever Mr. Consistent for Weibo, is opening up an even bigger lead here, but a win con has emerged for IG, and they're looking to stamp it home by jumping on this Ocean Drake. Do Weibo want to respond and shut down the stacking now?
I'm taking a look.
Breathe
does not have teleport. TheShy does.
Oh,
Verdict,
he's going to hit the jungler out. Perfect execution of Tian and secures that dragon. One ult, one Drake. That's how easy it is for Poppy.
And they can control of mid. You even see that right now in the picture-in-picture. Breathe is fighting underneath that turret. That turret is also going to potentially be going down. With 5 grubs, Weibo might get a ton of gold here right before the plates fall. This is a pretty good influx.
Rookie! Oh! Strut passive.
That's so close.
Misfortune is too quick. And there goes the turrets. With a plate, so much gold. This gold loot is just exponentially growing by this point. The smite fight is not won there by Tian, so Jiejie gets that one back. Good steadfast presence. Erha committing on to Gala. You think it's a 1v1, but Xiaohu was close by with Realm Warp. A little surprised he didn't decide to commit, but instead will allow that pressure to maybe garner another turret dropped in the name of Weibo.
Yeah, that kill on Gala just does not matter. He also has summoner spells, so at the very least you're like, okay, cool. Like, the kill would have been nice, maybe some summoner spells, but just getting this entire turret by himself, the gold lead is going to balloon here for Weibo, and you've got the Herald spawning a minute and a half. IG need to fight for this objective if they do not want to stop, if they want to have any chance of stopping Weibo in this early game.
The push and pull between these two teams in this series, this is exactly what Weibo were able to do to create such a huge gold lead for themselves and never look back in Game 1. Is Xiaohu's going to pop the ghost there, maybe fearing that a wraparound was coming from Jiejie? Oh, buddy. Now we can't get caught backing, though. Oh, no.
There's no Azir ultimate. This doesn't matter. He sees the J4. Tian's even there to cover him. I know we haven't been looking topside, but Breathe is literally slamming TheShy at this moment.
I'm glad you used the word slamming, because Jiejie just got slammed into a wall, popped in the air, and before he could even blink, he was on a gray screen.
It's another wave going over to Xiaohu, and the game not really going in IG's favor at this moment. There was not a lot of early skirmishing. They got some kills now onto Breathe and Xiaohu. So Weibo Gaming are feeling very, very good about their spot so far in this third game. Tian definitely opening up a lot more spaces for his team in comparison to what we got in game number 2.
Very impressed with how Weibo are continuously able to play the map when they're not forced into fights that they don't like and feel the pressure to play from behind. Weibo really showing that as a team playing from ahead, they are really hard to slow down. And IG are feeling those pains, feeling those woes, and at a certain point, they're really going to have to try and start forcing these fights because they will just get side lane split to death in this current scenario.
So, can they make this play on the bottom side? Jiejie is coming through. Meiko is in the area. Breathe is just going to be able to... He won't have Mega in a little bit. If they can time that, that should be a kill going over to them.
But they're backing off.
You see that Xiaohu now is matching in top side.
Yep, they're making the play towards mid here as Light threatens that mid turret, but they can lean towards Tian, who takes down the Rift Herald on his own. And look at the push-pull here. I mean, watch Meiko and Jiejie's pathing. They went towards bot lane, back towards mid lane, back towards bot lane. They're going to steal away some Krugs, but this is not enough to stop the bleeding.
Yeah, they're just so lost. Like, they feel almost listless. No one's making a decision here for the team as a clear direction. Gets caught, fine. The Herald is already spawned, and you just see all the little Twitch chatters spawning out from this Herald. They're going to take down mid-tier 1, get half of the mid-tier 2. It's a consolation prize that you found the enemy support here for IG, as Weibo are just absolutely wiping them on the map right now. Again, like you said, that push and pull, that tug around the map and not being able to find anything thanks to some of the very unique abilities from Weibo and their champions.
And now they can use all this map space to set up shop wherever they want, and that will likely be the Drake Pit in about 30 seconds as we get an Infernal Soul for this final Game 3. And we also are very likely soon to lock in the Voracious Octagon 2 minutes after. And IG, they're going to have to make their stand, I likely think, at that Octagon to try and save this game because they are just falling further and further behind. And it's really going to start showing on these item breakpoints as well.
Yeah, and as we've seen, because of the prevalence of Rod of Ages and with how many Blood Roses are out right now, we're getting the ultimate here to back up Tian.
Holy moly, they popped out of a trap door. And they're going to try and throw Jiejie down once more. The Ignite, not going to be enough with the W passive. Gala gets into a 1v1 with Light that he feels pretty comfortable about. And TheShy is on a huge flank. Gala is cornered. Tian going to try and buy space, but Light is still holding on to his flash. He survives without burning any summoners. Erha, soon to fall down to Gala, though. The rocket over the wall. Gala's going to flash, doesn't get the auto. Bullet time can create a ton of space. TheShy doesn't want to run through that. Highway robbery from Weibo because while all this was going on, Breathe picks up a tier 2.
And they were able to grab some summoner spells there. Tian just barely saving his AD carry in that fight. Xiaohu does go down, and we'll see how much gold IG can get now on the map here. It's going to be a wave pushed by Gala, and more importantly for me, I'm looking at this top side. Rookie thought he was going to get some time on this turret, but that is absolutely not the case, as Breed does teleport.
What composure there from Light to not commit either one of his summoners. I mean, he is completely pincered. I expected him to panic about 5 different times throughout this play.
Yeah, and look at just seeing this. This is the start of the play that we were talking about. No steadfast presence to try to stop Jiejie from getting out. And while Xiaohu is getting focused, Light, a good peel job from Tian, just saving his AD carry at the very last moment and wasting a lot of TheShy's dominance.
With that push and pull back towards the top side with all those resources dedicated. Free Dragon for Weibo as they tick over to 2 on the Soul counter. And all Rookie can do is teleport to try and catch some of these waves and try and give some control over to this side of the map for the Octagon pit as Meiko is trying to utilize as much of that tiny short wall that Octagon uses and could set up Breathe as the target of a dive here. Erha is sprinting topside as we speak.
They make this this dive should be free for them. No one from the side of
Solar
Weibo is
Flare.
coming.
Oh, there it is, actually right on time. Empress Divide. Meganar nearly pops over at just the last second. Meiko gets out. They're going to get this tier 1 turn and might just force the issue onto Otacon now.
Meiko is too low HP in my mind. You see the pings, they're deciding whether or not they're going to do it. They're going to escape instead. Not knowing exactly where this Rise is does make it very difficult for the side of IG to immediately rip this Otacon. So
significant gold back,
like
though,
the idea, the Azir turret, however, does make this a bit easier to defend from their side.
Significant gold back, nonetheless. And Rookie now has 3 kills under his belt. And I know all the way back in the first series when we saw Azir, you talked about how important getting Azir these more expensive items down could be for any comp playing around him, and that is the Nashers and Liandry's completed for Rookie.
Okay. Jiejie trying to finish his second item. Gala is going to be on a very strong spike in a few moments, finishing the Muramana. Already has a Trinity Force. Everybody at home, do not do this. Just pick up Essence Favor, Bloodthirster. Thank me later. Yep. And for IG, you do have to always be worried about the fact that you don't have a dragon stacking lead. You might not be able to get this Otacon. It's a little up in the air, but there's these 5 grubs you always have to keep in the back if Xiaohu or Breathe even continues to split push. I don't know how much turret damage Breathe is going to get from this point on, though. Getting to inhibitors seems really deep, and
yeah,
I think that he's already kind of done the damage that he's needed to. They're, I think, mostly focused on eventually chipping away at this mid-tier 1.
For now, Weibo would like to get light over towards the most expensive 2-item power spike you really ever see, which is IE done, which I believe he'll get shortly. He farms the red buff there. Tian selflessly gives that one over. Maybe one more mid-wave. Gets the IE in the pocket of light. Don't really want to fight Otacon or any other big neutrals until you get light towards the same level that Gala's currently sitting at with that Muramana completed.
Do this though. Let's just play high up on the wave. If anything, we can have our Rise connect with us in mid-river. So, IG are trying to force them out. Breathe is on a side lane. He's going to push one more wave. Drop into fog.
Be careful.
IG are kind of waiting to see if they can find some kind of fight, but I'll be honest, Slayer, I think we're waiting until that dragon in 2 minutes' time.
Even Otacon not getting these teams to bite. Grubs, though, may knock down this big tier 2, and that's always a reason to fight over. And there's the moment from Erhan to set up a huge bullet time that TheShy will not survive. Jiejie has to flash out. We were waiting for it. We were calling for it for draft, and Weibo finally executed at the 24th minute.
Light just says, thank you, Jiejie. Thank you for putting down an ultimate that your Renekton cannot escape from. Gets TheShy killed, loses his flash as well, as now Weibo take finally their prize that they've been wanting for a few minutes now, which is that mid-tier 2. See how they're able to utilize now this advantage. That was kind of the play that they'd been looking for. Keep bouncing Breathe in between the bottom and the mid-wave so that they could force an issue. Say, hey, IG, we're either going to pull you apart on the map or we can just force with our engage. Another great snap engage coming in from Erha, the newest member of this Weibo squad.
It continues to impress and earn many, many votes for Rookie of the Split, which, by the way, you guys all at home can have a say in for Rookie of the Split here. So, the way things are going, Erha might be the most popular vote, but all that matters for him is getting his team higher and higher in the Group Ascent standings, and playoffs on the horizon. His steadfast presence proves its pivotal ability up against potential Meiko engage.
All right, Pink's coming down. Dragon spawns in 30 seconds. It is IG trying to fight over river control, but Breathe is trying to flank. He has no Mega Gnar bar, though, so it'll be a while before he really can kind of have a proper influence on these fights.
That's why I try to hammer down onto that Gromp, but yeah, that bar's going to tick back down in the Rage department. Bullet Time and Magnet Storm are back up and available. Mid-wave's definitely the priority to fight over. Everyone committing a ton of attention towards those and trying to set up those flank lines. Breathe trying to use that Infernal Dragon to build up his Gnar bar as the rest of Weibo kick in the front door towards this river. So definitely have to be careful because Rookie's damage is pivotal by this point. No snap engage from Meiko. Erha dismounted. Tian and Breathe trying to step the flank, but Breathe now with that Gnar bar right where you want it to be.
All right, he has flash. He can try to find an engage. There's bullet time available. No flash from Jiejie, remember that.
The Wombo that tries to break open this game. They punt out TheShy. The Dragon is secured by Jiejie, but IG are 1 versus 4 completely on the back pedal. Breathe going Mega. Will not commit. Doesn't want to risk anything. And IG are able to get out and stop the Dragon stacking, even us up at 3 apiece while sacrificing control of the mid wave.
Why don't we just take this mid wave and just use our Rise ultimate to go Baron? We are lacking some of the creativity that we would have seen in years past. Maybe waiting for that level 16 to get a little bit more range and a bit more damage on the overload. But a good smite coming in from Jiejie secures them the Dragon, prevents Weibo from moving up to Dragon Soul. See that Jiejie immediately rushing over, recognizing that a Rise makes movements around the map a bit trickier to track sometimes. Necessarily don't have to go over wards a lot of the time, so a good fight, I think, there for Weibo, and IG are happy with the fact that they didn't actually have to expend all that much during it.
And now they can get back to trying to control this top wave that becomes the belle of the ball, with Otacon and Baron just jam-packed into this topside river. You look to Rookie to try and use that Azir turret to keep the push going, as Xiaohu constantly has to answer these extending top lane waves. You talked about how Breathe has set up camp in this bottom side, but it really just becomes too risky to threaten that inhibitor turret unless there's excruciating circumstances of an IG overload towards that bot side. Erha, we are so deep, brother.
He's looking for a flank, right? Like, this is his whole,
yeah.
This is basically his whole job. Maybe it's here on the Gala.
Here we go. Gala has Cleanse and Flash available. There's the flash out of Gala. Exactly what Erha wanted to snag.
Amazing, and that opens up a lot of plays for them now. I mean, they can basically just try to muscle their way through this topside jungle of IG, and Erha, anytime he finds it, maybe Meiko just walks through. He needs to be very careful here. Jiejie as well.
Good flag.
That's so funny, man. Just J4 flag over the wall. There's 3 people in there with a very serious face.
Oh, yeah, not going back towards that route. This is what we talk about, Alk, and I know we're not at the playoffs for these huge games. Like, the stakes are evolved, but this really feels like a playoff game vibe, the way everyone's walking on eggshells at this point in the game.
I think they recognize how important this series might end up being. This is one of those series that if you end up 5th, 6th, you are definitely looking back and saying, okay, if we would have won this one in Game 3, we would not be in this situation. So now that we're in the second round robin, I feel like a lot of games are going to have a little bit more of that tense nature as they go on, especially against our top teams where every single spot in top 4 is contested. Again, if you don't know our format, top 4 automatically qualifies you for playoffs, whereas bottom 6 of this 10-team group have to play a single best of 5 versus a mix of Group Ascend and Group Nirvana teams. So IG want to at least maximize their chances of making it into the playoffs here, as gold is only about 4,000 in advantage for Weibo, and while they do have 5 grubs, you actually haven't been able to see them really push and pull more of this lane. It's been slower victories as the game and the time has gone on here. A mid-tier 2 turret here, finally grabbing the bot tier 2, but really not being able to push for that much more. It is now all about these objectives coming up.
Breathe is really trying to test the waters on how close he can get to this IG base. Yeah, threat of the Otacon on the other side of the map. I mean, how much is Breeze's push in this bottom lane holding IG back from just full sending this Otacon right now? I think he's doing so much.
He's just going for it.
Yep,
that just means that TheShy has to match him, and Weibo right now are saying, okay, either you're going to match a 5 grubs Gnar with another mini wave coming in a little bit and demolish, or you are simply going to move off this objective and we are going to clear all your vision and force you to potentially walk back into fog.
This is the chess match that you love with League of Legends. The higher octane decisions that you have to make in such pressurized seconds. And I'm glad you called out the Gnar that has to be matched by TheShy. I mean, look at the gold lead in the top lane. It is nearly a full item. There is no world, unless caught completely under the turret ramping up, where Breeze should die to TheShy in a 1v1. Or even to Rookie at this point. Well, maybe I'm getting a little bit egregious with the rookie one.
Maybe they just go for Otacon, right? Like, this is why I have questions about Xiaohu on this Rise. Like, we should be seeing more creative uses of the Realm Warp. Sneak your team in. Once you've cleared all the vision, get your team in a position and look for something a little bit, that would, change up the battle lines here. Gala has no flash. He's going to have it in a few minutes' time. Breathe is continuing to push. He just lost Mega Gnar here. He's going to try and open up an inhibitor. There we go. There's the, I think they're moving. Instead of moving for the dragon, Weibo said, screw it, man. I don't care about the mid wave. We're just going to hit this Baron.
And they don't even need a full commit to this Baron, right? They're just trying to pull IG away from covering for Breathe. They're like, all right, you can let this Baron go? I mean, IG are so lost. They're just walking back and forth. They don't know where they can go. They don't know how they can help.
Are they going to pull the trigger? Jiejie's trying to look. Gnar's on the flank. He has Mega Gnar almost.
And they're going after Rookie, who immediately pops. The Seeker's Arm Guard goes to the stasis, and Shuriman shuffles Xiaohu into the might of IG. The bullet time does not find its mark, does not get enough value, and Xiaohu falls first. But the Gnar ult from Breathe throws two members to the wayside. Breathe is doing it all for Weibo. Mr. Consistent for WBG, trying to bring them home in their most pivotal series of the Rumble stage.
It's only a 2 for 2 right now, and both junglers are, Tian is down, so Weibo need to be able to sit in this bottom side jungle. TheShy has no flash. The start of that fight looks so risky. I know we're going to get a replay of it, but the flash is down here for both solo lanes between these two teams. It's another dragon going over to Weibo, so Weibo Gaming now have sole point here with 2 Infernal Dragons. And still we have the Otacon and the Baron to play for here, Slayer. I was the entire time watching Breathe. He's not able to get damage, and I'll be honest, Gala almost kills him on this Gnar. He almost turns, is able to put down a hell of a lot of damage down onto this. Misses the stun immediately, and while this ultimate from Rookie was so game-breaking, small decision-making, small decisions that came out from both teams ended up making a big difference. I mean, Leona not really able to peel for most of her squad. Oh my god, wait, we're just back to live and we're just starting up this Otacon. No one, they could Realm Warp in, but this is so difficult here for Weibo.
I mean, TheShy is on mid-wave here. I don't know why there isn't the call for Xiaohu to immediately come in with the Realm Warp. They boot out the Leona. This could be a 3 versus 5 right now, but Xiaohu does not go through the Realm Warp. He doesn't want to sacrifice himself 1 versus 3, so he baits them away with that Realm Warp. And they're going to try and turn onto TheShy, but again, the push and pull, nothing is sticking for either of these teams, as Meiko might be the one caught trying to go forward. The scene to play the Solar Flare, finds a nothing. It hits my window outside the cast, and Rookie's trying to rescue it, but another great slam into the wall from Tian. He catches 2 with the same ability, and now the game is completely broken open for Weibo Gaming. They knock down TheShy, and they don't care about Otacon, they don't care about Baron. All they care about is winning this series.
They're going to take it 2-1, and an amazing team fight from the solo laners of Weibo and the jungler from Weibo Gaming. Breathe teleports in. Erha's already in the base. 5 grubs here for Weibo Gaming. It is Jiejie, it is Gala. Can they make it the defense? There's a flash available for this Corki, but a base in tatters.
They get Meiko back up, but it's just too late. There's Jiejie already down. The finishing touches on what could be a season-defining series win for Weibo. They've crawled all the way back from the depths to officially lock in a playoff spot.
And there it is. Weibo now move on forward. They're going to be able to even up their score, at least bring them over that 500 mark. And a very, very decisive win around the play. And I gotta say, no matter whatever happened in this game, Breathe MVP for me, bar none. This guy is providing pressure on the side lane, he's solo killing his opponent, and he's making it impossible for IG to actually do anything. I would honestly think, with the amount of leaders that this team has, you have Rookie, you have Meiko on your squad, and we cannot make a snap decision to try to go for a play, or start, or even just commit. Many questions here for Invictus Gaming going forward.
You want to see the last 20 minutes of IG's decision-making? It's just this.
Yeah, what's up?
I'm actually getting tangled in my cord, but it's
I was going to say, I saw your cable, man. I was so scared.
Like, what? Like, I mean, also, that's so awesome. 35-minute game, Hulk. We don't get a Dragon Soul. We don't get a single Baron taken. We don't get Otacon knocked down. That is the Breathe effect. And kudos to the rest of Weibo for playing really well around Breathe. When he knocks down the inhibitor, the immediate call to go to Baron and not take it, right? Not like full send, oh, we're going to take the Baron, we're going to force the fight. Like, just hit it. They just hit it, and
oh yeah,
IG was dizzy, bro. Completely dizzy this entire mid to late game.
I was really impressed, I think, from Weibo and how they were able to eventually eke out that win. I think that they also got into a bit of a sticky situation where I don't think they were moving up their vision line very well. I think that we got to see from Weibo, they were so indexed on Breathe being the one to split push that I think what they could have done is played between those two lanes, or maybe even play with Rise in a side lane and having Erha or Tian shadow him so that they can make sure. But because they actually couldn't advance their vision line and make it, at least more obvious to them as to where and how Invictus were moving around the map, we actually ended up getting to see that game stall out for as long as it was. So that's what I'm kind of looking for them to improve upon, is if you are going to play these styles where Breathe is on a split pusher or something that can split push, that gives him some agency in a side lane, I need to see the rest of Weibo actively progressing the rest of the map, because otherwise a better team is going to choke you out in that game, and they're just going to call your bluff saying, oh, you don't have 5 members, cool, we're just going to kill you on the spot and take an objective, take a dragon for ourselves.
I will say, though, that's a very valid point. You're not going to get away with this against, I think, AL and top esports at the very least, but that might have just shown the homework on how to make IG panic. And I wonder how many teams are going to try and adopt, split pushing kind of style comps to make this IG team panic, because they cannot make a decision right now. And we called it from game 2, Alk. They won game 2 alone through masterful team fighting. But this game had 2 real team fights in 35 minutes, and IG were outclassed.
Yeah, it was a weird game. I mean, just across the board, we thought there was going to be a little bit more. We saw the Wombo combo from draft, right? Set up this misfortune. You have so much crowd control to kind of slam them. There's Coach Despair, one of the newest additions, alongside Nofe, coming on through and celebrating.
Oh,
wow. That's how they find this? And Jiejie still lives, by the way?
If I had a nickel for how many times Jarvan W Shield save Jiejie in this game, I'd have 2 nickels, which is one more than you think I have.
Yeah. Also, Tian, we're gonna have to work on your jungle poppy. That was a bit question mark ping for me. But
hey,
had
won the
enough
fight
great
at the
moments
end,
of being able to save his team. Yeah.
I mean, I shout out the replay masters here for the LPL, because there was not a lot to pick from. We are jumping 8 to 10 minutes between every single one of these clips. This was like the only real fight we got. I think this is the only 5v5 fight of the entire game.
And it was very one-sided, right? Like it had.
No,
it actually wasn't all that one. It was pretty even.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just feel like this game was really sloppy from IG. Just the fact that we never actually got to see them. This ultimate in particular just kind of summed it up for me right here.
Yeah.
Waiting for it. Where's the solar flare? All right, cool.
There it is.
And then we're getting individual moments, but this ultimate puts actually the game in jeopardy, because now Xiaohu is like, oh, cool. There's a Corki I can kill. That's even better. Awesome.
Yeah. There we go. Love to see the coaching staff. Big series for Weibo. We'll throw up the group standings, updated pretty shortly. It's hard not to overstate how massive of a series win this is, and knowing now that Weibo holds that tiebreaker over IG, they have the game score. They also go 2-0 against them in the group, and that is big because, like we talked about, every single one of these matches now that you see going forward to the Rumble stage could be the final time these two teams match up until only playoffs or play-in tournament for the lower ones. But we're talking about the big dogs right now with this matchup.
Yeah, I'm looking at the standings right now. So top 4, if we were to lock playoffs today, top esports, AL, JDG, and Weibo, which I don't think is too unsurprising if you would have told me that at the beginning of the year. But if you told me a weekend to split 2, giving it to Tian, I mean, I could maybe reason why that was the case, but this brother has Silas ulted so many MVP votes that were totally unnecessary here.
I'm in shock. I'm in shock. Come on. That... All right. Well, I know the LPL English fandom are with us. That's what matters most to me right now.
Yeah.
I can't see Twitch chat, but I believe you guys. I hope we're all supporting Breathe, because that was maybe the single best game for Breathe of the entire split. So, whatever. Doesn't matter. Those are placeholder rewards. For Weibo, the big thing is they now get towards that playoff lock spot. Alk was starting to talk a little bit about it, but production, if we have the graphic ready, let's throw
all right,
up
it's fixed. I had to do it myself.
Okay.
I was double checking the math. I fixed it. We'll have them in a second.
All right. Well, we can in this time. We can shout out our last awesome group here. We can take a second too, which is of course our Elite Coffee supporters. So thank you very much to our Elite Coffee supporters, Aaron Soup, Mong, and Forest Without. Their pledge financial contributions helps level up the broadcast and give back to the cast and crew who strive to give you an LPL English product every single day. So big shout out to our Elite Coffee supporters. Like we talked about earlier with all the awesome other coffee supporters, you can check out the links in chat and the links below to join up. But we appreciate all you guys that come in here, chat, watch, subscribe on YouTube, subscribe on Twitch. Thank you so much. And now I've officially gotten word. Let's throw up those updated group standings after the first day of the second round robin you are currently taking a look at here. And look how packed in. Honestly, like 3, 4, 5, but even BLG and FPX, if they put things together, there is so much room for like 3 through 7 to change in a matter of days.
It is seeming like for top 4, the likely number of wins you're going to need is probably going to be 12, if I'm right.
That's a good number.
12 wins. I mean, that's literally a third of your. That's literally 2/3 of your games that you need to be able to win, which is not, I think, unnecessary or I think that high of a barrier, especially for some of our teams. So, again, congrats to the teams that were able to win for both Weibo and for JDG. Again, those are two teams that at the beginning of the year should be making playoffs, maybe even have a chance of being able to represent us internationally. And so being able to see them both take very triumphant wins today, I think in different ways definitely means a lot for hoping to build confidence in these two squads.
Without a doubt, Alk. But that will wrap up our day, a 5-game set here. All group ascend as we officially dip our toe into the second round robin. Tomorrow, you will get to see IG look for a bounce back. It's a grueling schedule, and they got to play AL, so that's going to be the fun matchup tomorrow. FPX versus Top Esports as well will be coming your guys' way as we continue to roll out a ton of group ascend. But that will do it for our show. Myself and Alk, as the PSTNA gamers we are, have a date with a pillow and a nice comfy blanket. But we will be back with the unofficial LPL English broadcast tomorrow for